You are going to die. I don't need to be sour about it. It happens to everyone, at least once. But what is death? Is it something to fear, something benign, or something else? Well, let's find out, shall we? First, let's take a look at different interpretations of death, like Santa Morte, an urban saint of death often worshipped by mariachi, taxi drivers, prostitutes, and even the occasional cop. It's believed keeping death close would help you keep it from taking you, so many people who are exposed to the dangers of the night would pray to her for protection. And Mictica Sewato, the Aztec goddess of death, whose ancient rituals of death eventually became the modern-day Day of Dead, and is often believed to be the inspiration for Santa Muerte as well. Osiris, the Egyptian god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, and death, the one who would judge those passing into the afterlife. Thanatos, the Greek god of death, and Charon, or Charon, the ferryman of the river Styx, carry people into the afterlife. These are a few interpretations of death. However, everyone has a different interpretation of death and what death means to them. For example, I think of him as a fisherman, calm and ever patient, waiting by the riverside, pole in hand, as he watches and waits for a bite. Sometimes those hoped will go free, and death is none disturbed. Why? Because he knows no matter how many times one escapes, they will always find their way to him. Let me tell you a story. When I was young, I went on a class trip to the ocean. A friend and I snuck away from the rest of the class and explored a nearby cliff. He was in front of me, and I followed his every step for fear of slipping. Despite this, despite how careful I thought I was, I slipped. Taken by surprise, I barely managed to catch the cliffside. Looking down, I saw a crevice quickly filling with the coming tide. I was not a strong swimmer, and I knew if the fall didn't get me, the water would. My mind frazzled in panic, every instinct looking for ways to escape. All but one voice in the farthest reaches of my mind softly whispering, "Let go." It was quickly drowned out by the frantic thoughts looking for safety. I tried to pull myself up, but I was not strong enough. I tried to find footing on the smooth stone I clung to, but found no purchase. I tried to scream for help, but my jaw was clenched with such force and my chest so tight I could not manage a sound. And most disturbing of all, my fingers began to slip ever so slightly. All I could do was quietly cry to myself. I hung there on that cliff for what felt like hours before I heard that voice whispering ever so loudly in my head, "Let go." With no more hope and all the frantic thoughts dead, it sounded so clear. I braced myself for it, and as I did so, a strange warmth came over me, like a hand gently embracing my shoulder, telling me, "It's okay." A morbid peace haunted my tears as I looked down at my fate and accepted it. I closed my eyes, ready to follow the voice. Then I heard another voice. It called down to me, "Take my hand." My eyes immediately snapped to it. I saw my friend, his arm outstretched. I took it without hesitation and was saved the same second I was about to die. That was my first taste of death's hook. And since then, I learned one truth about death. He is there for you. A silent companion who walks with you, listens to your every word, and constantly by your side, waiting for the time of your passing so he may walk with you one last time to your ever after. And I've dreamt of it, walking with those who had passed to lights so bright I could not see past. And I've heard others, their stories of it too. Are we death then? I do not know. But after so long with him, I know one thing. I learned how I will die. I've seen it. I've seen it in the faces of those who had passed, their bodies embalmed and ready for one last gathering. I've seen it in the eyes of those who stared into the same caskets as I have, filled with silence, fear, regret. And I've heard it in their voices, such quiet murmurs that even they could not hear. Yes, I know how I die, but I am not afraid. Why? Because death is a friend of mine.